Yeah, it's me playing as the Ottoman Empire. So I'm going to start out by researching stock exchange and empiricism because we want that education access and the MAPI. So those are going to be very, very important texts to start out by researching. And then we'll also put down some social mobility decrees, although we don't want to lower our enactment time too much, so I'll just keep it at 3. We can remove this consumption tax on wine because it gives essentially 0 money, actually, as well as this liquor one. And then I guess we can use that to put on 2 more social mobility decrees because we do want to try to get our literacy up as fast as possible. Ottoman literacy is very low. We'll also click the Sick Man of Europe. This has some nice things immediately, like we get 30 maneuvers on our diplomatic plays, which is actually going to be very important for our starting diplomatic play, which we will declare in a second. But before we do that, let's just raise taxes and start building a little bit of construction. Where do we want to build? I guess Northern Thrace isn't too bad of an area to start out our economy building. There's a little bit of tax capacity issues, but I think that'll pretty much go away once we complete Sick Man of Europe. And it's got good iron and logging. Unfortunately, there are no Ottoman states that have logging, iron, and coal, so that is a little bit unfortunate. But we'll just try to build up some iron mines here for our construction sectors. Okay, now it's time to explain the war we're going to be declaring, which we're going to be waiting till Sunday. The reason we're waiting till Sunday is it appears that this plus 30 maneuvers only starts working after a couple of days, so we're going to give it the maximum time without wasting an infamy tick. Then I'm going to declare a war to annex the country of Ausa. The reason we need maneuvers for this is Egypt is almost assuredly going to join against us. I've tried this a bunch of times, and every time Egypt ends up joining against us. And the reason we really like this is this gives us 25% infamy cost on war goals. You can see all these war goals cost essentially 0 infamy, so we can put them all in, and it's only going to cost us a couple of infamy points. Like, all this is going to add up to less than the Annex Ausa play, which is pretty crazy. And then while we're at it, we can also just take maximum money from them, which is 11k, and that's only 2.2 infamy. Now I'm going to upgrade all units to line infantry because we are going to need it in order to defeat Egypt easily. We'll promote that general as well, mobilize all the units, and send them over to the Syria front. And we should be able to easily push through Syria because the Egyptians simply don't have as high of a power projection as us. I just realized we spawned a peasant movement and we have the modernization movement. I'm going to start bolstering both of these. They're going to be very important movements. Once the peasant movement gets big enough, we can use that to be able to pass tenant farmers very easily. In fact, actually, we can already pass it somewhat easily because we have such a powerful intelligentsia, so we should probably start working on that. What we'll do is pass homesteading, cancel, and then you get the peasant movement success chance as well, which isn't that significant for now, but it will be pretty significant later on because over time it'll go up to 20% clout, which could up to double our success chance. Oh, I forgot to mobilize this army. That would explain why the advantage was kind of small. Oh, and this army. Oops, that's a big mistake. Yeah, now the advantage is huge. Unfortunately, our original ruler has already died. He's really good because you get the minus decree costs and stuff. Now we have negative authority, but we will just be fine with running the negative authority, I think. Kind of crazy that he's already dead, though. We're only like 6 months in. I guess he does start the game with cancer, but yeah. With like an 80 advantage, this front will get pushed incredibly quickly. I'm going to hire some more generals so we can make sure we push this as fast as possible, because the more we can push before they kick out Tripolitania, the better. They're getting pretty close to being done with Tripolitania. We're almost done with enforcing our wars, though. We just need to get to Palestine, and then we'll have all of our war goals enforced. But Lower Egypt is going to be very good for enforcing quicker, so we definitely want to try to occupy that. You can see that this war is very expensive. Mobilizing the military is so expensive as the Ottomans, as well as upgrading to line infantry. But we will be able to get our money back from the Egyptian war reparations and not having to mobilize our army, so it'll be fine. You can see Egypt has plus 53 right now, but we've occupied most of their territory, so they should be capping out relatively quickly, especially once we occupy more. Apparently I'm spending 4k subsidizing ports. That's definitely not worth it. What's this treaty Sardinia Piedmont wants to give us? Sardinia Piedmont transfers us 1.3k. This treaty is actually really good, I think. Well, the question is what is the price of artillery and stuff in their market, but if they have decent prices, this could be a really good treaty. No, this is actually going to crash their prices because their economy is so small, so this is probably not going to be profitable. It might be, but it would be close because 1.3k is quite a lot relative to tens of items, but it might not be worth it. I don't know. Okay, the Egyptians have now capitulated. We'll take this 30 stack and naval invade, or land invade Ausa with it. Oh, it takes more than 4 weeks to reach Ausa from here? You're kidding me. How is that possible? Okay, there we go. Now we started an invasion of Ausa, and I'm going to demobilize the rest of our armies because we really want to stop going into debt. We should not be going into debt when we're having 40 construction. Yeah, now we're running a small positive balance, mostly off of that 11k we're getting from Egypt. Okay, we now have finished our war with Ausa, which is quite nice. This is crazy. We're down to having 4.8 SOL, with like the Bulgarian peasants being on 1 SOL. I'm pretty sure this will fix itself once we get tenant farmers, but it's crazy how bad it is right now. The reason the SOL on our pops is so bad is we're actually getting -2 from self-emancipation. I didn't realize that I clicked that, but I guess it auto-timed out and selected self-emancipation, which is quite terrible for that -2 SOL, making our pop growth -0.5% a year, which is pretty bad, but it's not terrible. I'm going to support Kalat in exchange for making Persia a protectorate, because if we were to declare our own war, Russia would be very likely to get involved. But if you just join one of these guys' Persia attacks, you can pretty easily get Persia as a protectorate. We get Whispers of Insurrection. I don't think there's any reason to press this bottom option because it gives you 5 infamy. I think it might have used to make secessions less likely, but 1.8 reworks secessions, and I don't think this no longer does anything. So we'll just say that they are just rumors. The disadvantage of building Northern Thrace is we are already out of infrastructure. We could try to build ports to solve infra, but they now give so little that that's probably not going to be worth it. I think we'll probably just try to expand logging camps. We have a lot of radicals, so we can't really build in the Balkans right now. Once we get rid of tenant farmers, I'm pretty sure it'll get kind of fixed. I guess we'll take the -5 enactment success chance. Okay, can protectorate Persia. Very, very nice. Tenant farmers is finally passed. Now we have SOL again. Very nice. Oman backs down to Persia as well. Meaning Persia has pretty much consolidated their area, although they don't have Bomber, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna revoke Egypt's market control, so they should be in the Egyptian market, or in the Ottoman market. Well, there's pretty much no more point to bolstering the peasant movement, so I'll stop doing that now. That might help the modernization movement a little bit. Unfortunately, it's not at 10% support. It is pressuring the intelligentsia, but they only have a 24% chance to roll a modernizer. Maybe we just gamble? I don't know how else we're gonna be able to pass interventionism. Doesn't seem like there's any easy ways. Maybe we just go for the gambling, or we could do the armed forces maybe. What's their odds? Their odds are only 31%, so that's really not much better. Okay, I think we go gambling. Take the intelligentsia out of government. Exile. No, we roll a moderate. This is so sad. Okay, I don't know what we do. I guess we're just gonna have to use the modernization movement itself to do this. Okay, I think we're gonna have to accept not being able to get off of traditionalism for now, and instead we're gonna try to go for getting off of no schools and go for pub schools. That'll at least be something. I think we just can't really get off of traditionalism. Maybe in 5 years when we can exile again, we'll have a better shot. Or if the modernization movement can somehow get more support, because at 9% support, it's going to be really hard to pass interventionism. Persians are going for annex Kandahar. Nice. We get religious corruption exposed. We could turn Abdul Mesid into a nihilist, which is something, but I think we'll just take the... or actually, it might be better to make him a nihilist. I forget what's the difference between state religion and freedom of conscience for a nihilist. It's strongly opposed to oppose, so it'd only be 5%, but it would also be an increase to our advanced chance. I think we'll just take the 10% success. Now Persia's going for Herat. Persia's really expanding quite a lot, considering we subjugated them. I'm very surprised, but I'm very happy, of course. More whispers of insurrection? Of course they're just rumors. I think I'm going to try to just pay off my debt, because the interest rate we are paying is pretty bad at 9.5%, and with land-based taxation, there's kind of not a great point in using our construction. It is kind of sad that we have to idle construction. It's crazy how poor the Ottomans are. Okay, we just finished researching empiricism, so now we can start going into Atmo engine and railways, which is pretty nice. Riot, I think we don't want to pay the money, although it is a very tiny amount of money. How many Armenian... I guess there are actually a decent amount of Sunni pops here, aren't there, in Mosul? Okay, there are actually a lot of Sunni pops, but we can't actually reduce the radicalism gain. We'll see what happens, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. Okay, we get freedom of conscience through. Next, I guess we'll go public schools. Make the church very mad, but we gotta get that literacy up. 13% literacy is so bad. We definitely don't want to get 28 infamy. Okay. 20% Sunni radicals is pretty bad, so maybe that was the wrong move. Although, actually, we still don't have turmoil here in Mosul, so it's not too bad. Oh, this is a tough choice. Negative 10% enactment success and plus 20% enactment time is pretty bad. But also negative 15% bureaucracy is really bad. That's quite bad. Um, I think we'll take it anyway. Okay, yeah, we gotta start building up some government administrations for this. It's gonna be kind of expensive. I guess we'll build them up in Huda Vendigar for now. Yeah, we gotta fix this government administration shortage. It's quite bad. Yo, UK, could we have an alliance, please? That would be very nice if you could have an alliance. Anyway, now that we have an alliance with the UK, I'm gonna go invade Bolivia real quick. And, do you want to transfer North Peru? Probably do. And then, yeah, we'll try to call the British into this play. Or maybe some South American countries. Probably just the British. That'll be good enough. Okay, we get public schools, which actually I think helps our bureaucracy a little bit. Unfortunately, our budget is really bad. Yeah, we really need to fix our budget. It's quite bad. Should probably go down on government wages at least. And honestly, we probably should just delete some of our army. I think that that's going to be the best move here because we need more money. And I don't see how else we get more money than just deleting some of our army. The question is how much should we delete? Because we do want to stay at least... Okay, Egypt has like no army, so we don't need that much to stay ahead of them, I guess. Maybe let's just delete like this 50 stack or something. That's going to be... Yeah, this saves us so much money to just have one less stack of army. Okay, very nice. And then we'll just call the British into this play. And yeah, having a positive 15k balance is very nice to see. Oh, we have modernized our armed forces. That's very nice. We can now re-exile these guys. So I'm going to go and bring the armed forces in government. And now we're going to hope our best. Please give me something good. We have a 40% chance of rolling what we want. Please, please, please. No, we roll another abolitionist. Okay, well, I guess we'll put the modernizer in government. And then, LF, cancel. And now we can go interventionism. Oh, wow, it's minus 11, or it's minus 10 or below with the landowners. That is quite unfortunate that they're that mad. Wow. Well, I think we gotta give it a shot anyway. Yeah, that's really sad that it's 55% stall. Since we have such terrible literacy, I'm actually thinking we can put everyone in government, and it won't be that bad on the radicals, and it will help out with passing the law a little bit easier, because we get the industrial success chance, and we make the landowners a little bit less mad. And like, how many radicals per week is this giving us? Yeah, 30,000 a month? That's really not significant. I'm gonna invite this character. He'll help boost up the modernization movement support. But also we have the absolutist movement giving us some stall chance. So I'm thinking we remove some of our social mobility decrees so that we can start suppressing the absolutist movement because we definitely do not like having some stall chances this high. Okay, we got atmospheric engine. Very nice. We should actually turn on that PM, although it is going to give us a big coal shortage, but we can put a subvention on coal imports, or a small one. Hopefully we don't have too much failures on interventionism. You know, our first thing was a stall, which is not ideal, but hopefully we can do a little bit better than that. You're actually kidding me. Okay, it's not actually that bad. It's just 10% enactment time. 180 government expenses? That's so little. That's crazy. I'm gonna go for an annex on Oman. It says Austria's kind of likely to join, but we could call in the British, and hopefully that'll make the Austrians not want to join because, like, we'll have a pretty large advantage. So hopefully they won't join, but I guess they could. Call ally Britain. We could call. Wait, why is ESE not into joining the play? Are they exempt from service? They must be. No, they're not. What? I'm not really sure why they didn't join. Why did only these three random countries join? Very strange. Oh, no, it's not just those three random countries. It's a bunch of countries. Very nice that no Austrians joined against us. The French are now attacking the Austrians over Modena. I don't think this is going to go particularly well for the French. Oh, we get to lose the size tax. That's so good. The size tax is such a scam because you don't actually get this money. That's really bad. We'll take the minus conscriptable battalions. It's really not a huge loss. Okay, we can now annex the not the Ottomans, the Omanis, which gives us Zanzibar, which is going to be pretty nice for cutting off the British later. We might question why the British would, help us win the war if we're gonna steal their territory with it. But that's just not my question. It is oh, we're at 13 million GDP. Oh yeah, because we annexed Zanzibar. GDP growth here at the start on the Ottomans is so bad because you just kind of can't build construction. I think it'll get more, or it'll get much better once we can pass per capita tax because it looks like that's actually going to be a big jump in income. But for now, we really can't get much income. I guess we can go very high taxes. It's not like a huge problem. Like we're not running huge amounts of radicals right now, but I don't know. Interventionism is finally here. Um, should probably start building up some government administrations first, because of course this does mean we need lots more government administrations. But it is very nice that we now have interventionism. We can go to more legitimate government again. Oh yeah, we do want to try to pass per capita. Oh, we don't have currency standards. That's actually a very important tech. I don't think it's... Is it more important than railways? Actually, it probably is more important than railways. Yeah, I'm gonna go currency standards. We really need to get off of land-based taxation. We could try to go like appointed bureaucrats or something, but I think that's gonna be unnecessary. Another thing we need to do is get on army modernization. Oh wait, we have Napoleonic warfare. So that means actually we'll build a complete sick man of Europe as soon as suppressed separatism is done, because we have Napoleonic warfare. So all we need to do is get rid of the irregulars. Oh wait, no, we need to get skirmish infantry for this. I forgot. Okay, that's gonna be tough. I guess we have to abandon railways for a while then. Oh yeah, now that we have interventionism, we can just start building up a ton of construction to let the private queue handle everything because we have 70k reinvestment. That's really nice. Oh, Prussia's going for the leadership war. I think Austria might lose because they're at war with France at the same time. Although there is the thing that France doesn't have a border, so I don't know how much that will affect things. We will see. After that fishing wharf that I guess I built, we'll start building up some construction sectors because we definitely need to start using that private queue. We've got a lot of money in the private queue, so if we just build up construction, we should be able to get a lot of construction out of it. Well, I just realized I'm at infamy, but luckily the Egyptians have solved that problem for us by declaring independence. I don't know why they declared independence if they have no supporters or anything. This is very strange, given that, we have 2.8 thousand power projection and they have 800. But, I'm all for it because we get some easy return CBs on some very valuable land, so I will take it. We could also reduce autonomy, which would cost 7 or we actually don't have maneuvers for that. So yeah, I guess we'll do this. And that's gonna be pretty nice. We don't even need to call Britain into this war, really. I'm really not sure why the Egyptians try to declare this play. It doesn't seem like they stand any chance at all. Currently, we're losing quite a bit of money, but hopefully, as we give away all control of construction to the private queue, we'll stop losing some money, as well as annexing Egypt will be kind of nice. We're very close to our annexation of Egypt. Well, not quite annexation of Egypt, but mostly. That's like 5 million GDP or something from Egypt here. Maybe 6 million even. Basically, most of their economy. The only remaining bit is basically in Blue Nile. We could do the cheese to get them to accept by like revoking the claims, but we don't even need to do that. We're about to occupy literally their entire country. Like, this is all they have left at this point, and it's gonna be like a minute until, yep, that's occupied now. And the Ottoman Empire grows larger. Egypt is... Oh wait, we're already out of infamy? That's how little infamy that war was? That's crazy that we're already at infamy. Okay, guess we need to figure out a new war. Oh, we can reduce autonomy on Persia. That's definitely going to be something we want to do. Oh yeah, they're giving us a big diplopact. Very nice. I don't know what happened to us transferring North Peru. Did the Chileans take Lima and so that South Peru ended up uniting Peru or something? I'm not exactly sure why we don't have Peru as a subject. Oh, actually, maybe the transfer state thing, because I didn't actually send a peace deal, or transfer subject thing. I'm not on 1.9.8. I should probably go to 1.9.8 to patch that bug. Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. But we're out of infamy, so I guess we'll go and protectorate, or not Argentina, Chile here. Now I can start incorporating some new states. Might as well start incorporating all these states, because they should be only 5-year incorporation, which is going to be really nice. Guess we'll build up some bureaucracy real quick. Probably want to do it in any low tax capacity state that we do already have incorporated. Let's do Ankara, I guess. Yeah, 150 construction is really nice, although we are going to drain our investment pool with this much construction. So probably we should delete some of the construction in Egypt real quick. Yeah, Middle Egypt construction is going to have to go, as well as Upper Egypt. We do have some available mandates. Maybe we should go vassalization too. It'll give us more cohesion. I just did up gov wages so we could become a great power real quick. And this is going to be nice to get our cohesion up a little bit. We are going to get our second mandate, and I don't think we want to go vassal 3. So, question is, do you want to go like food one, or we could go construction one, or we could just go for companies three for the extra company slot. I think that that's gonna be the play. Yeah, we gotta go for that company slot. Oh, we got tanzimat suppressed separatism, so soon enough we can get tanzimat complete. We do need general staff for that though, unfortunately. I'm gonna reduce Wallachia to being a puppet as well. We just do want to start reducing people to being a puppet so we can get more Diplopact income, because I don't think we really care about them being able to grow their economies that much. And then Tunis as well. We just get more and more Diplopact income, although, yeah, Persia is still the vast majority of our Diplopact income. Oh, we finally got currency standards. We can go for per capita tax. This is going to be important. We should probably start bolstering the peasant movement again, because the peasant movement likes this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the peasant movement likes this, so that's going to be pretty huge. What else can we use for support on this? The armed forces, we can get them in government, and then they can help us out. Okay, yeah, it's barely legitimate, but we should go for that. And then we can start passing this immediately. Yeah. Oh, but we don't have the modernization movement helping us because it's too passive. Hmm. Um, we can trick them with something. Is there anything we can trick them with realistically? Can we fake pass protectionism? Yeah, we can. That should make the modernization movement pretty mad. And then we can do per capita taxation. Very nice. This is so much more money. Yeah. Oh, only 23k? No, yeah, 36k would be huge. Let's see how much of this money is real though. If you go down and then back up, 57.1. That's probably mostly real. Alright, I should probably go do a naval invasion on Chile. Can't just like declare war on them and then do nothing. That would be pretty weird. I guess that probably describes like half of real life wars. Not half, but there's probably a significant amount of wars where people just declare war on each other and then do nothing. They just forgot they were going to war or something. We should probably go declare a new war because don't want to be running out of infamy accidentally or anything. No, my landing is failing. No, this is unacceptable. How dare my landing fail? We need to go here with a new general or a new landing. Yeah, this is very sad that my landing is failing. We'll have to try again, unfortunately. What is in the world is happening to the Persian economy? Oh, they're in default. Okay, they're having a bit too big of an army and paying us those diplopacts is too much, so now they're defaulting. Wait, what? Why did they? Oh, they're not topping up to filing cabinets. That would explain why they're defaulting. It is really disadvantageous that the Persians are doing this because, yeah, we're getting way less money from them while they're defaulting. I wonder if giving them investment rights would be a good idea. I don't think it is. Like, the AI does it and it, like, skyrockets their GDP, but I think that's just because the AI doesn't know what it's doing, and so it gets, like, no national reinvestment. We're just gonna be getting into Santiago here in Chile, and that'll be nice. Then we can start going for New Granada, although that would be a little trickier. They have a pretty big army. Okay, we finally landed into Chile. Very nice. Now I'm gonna land with the 57 stack into Panama. We can get New Granada dealt with. Oh wow, we're running big convoy shortage. Oh, I should really upgrade these PMs. That would be a great idea if Connor upgraded his PMs. I'm gonna try subsidizing the ports just so we can try to have some convoys, because yeah, it's not gonna be a very easy war if we don't have convoys. Apparently the Dutch are against us in the New Granada War. I didn't actually notice that, but that's not good, very good. Sending back this army so we can try to defend against this naval invasion, as well as a bigger army that's a little bit further away. Yeah, I landed in Panama. Unfortunately, the New Granadans have quite a few troops here, so it's not actually going to be a very free war. We're going to have to figure out a way to get through here. Probably going to need to wait for the Netherlands to capitulate or something, or Ecuador to capitulate at least. We'll just try to defend here for now. We can go level 2 education now. We definitely want to try to get our literacy up, so that'll be good. Okay, we can start actually trying to push here now that we got this naval invasion as well. And with both of these, we should be able to push on at least one of them. Oh, we're fighting their navy? Yeah, we're winning. Okay, good. Navy's defeated. Now we can try to land with our armies. Finally, we passed per capita. Our money situation is finally saved. We're no longer running a big deficit to afford like 150 construction. Oh, we finally got general staff. We can now swap off of no organized training. And then we need to remove irregular infantry from our battalions. I don't know which of our battalions still have irregular infantry, but whichever ones do, they need to go away. So I guess I'll look through our battalions and look for that. Oh, here's one. Okay, yeah. I don't know why it's just irregulars and not like something like none of the base tier units like a SARS or whatever. But now we get the final tick on the sick man of Europe, and we finally complete the tanzimat. Now we can get 25% military research speed for 5 years, or we can get some claims. Of course, I'm going to take the claims, because claims are nice. With sick man of Europe modifier gone, we're now actually able to stay a great power, which is quite nice. Also, we should get a little bit more money now that taxation capacity is a little bit less of a concern, because, yeah, we were getting negative 33%, I think, from that, and that's now gone. Negative 33% tax capacity is a pretty bad negative modifier. We also have, like, way more bureaucracy now. Apparently, this is the most legitimate government now that we don't get that plus 100% intelligentsia political strength. The plus political strength on the intelligentsia is super nice. Okay, we're actually starting to run, like, really good balances, so I guess we can start building up more construction sectors, which is pretty nice. The UK has broken our alliance. I'm gonna try to get it back. I'll try to get military assistance at the same time. There's a 87% chance of acceptance. If they don't, we could have just gone for an alliance, and it would have been 100% because of equal exchange. But anyway, I do want to try to conquer Greece. It says that they won't join, but we have ideological differences, so we can try to fix that, and should be able to get them on our side. We'll go for return these provinces, and then we'll conquer the other province. This shouldn't be too hard of a war. We could try to primary these, but I think Russia joining will make them very, very unlikely to back down. I did have to add some conscripts so that UK would think we actually have an army, but this should not be too hard of a war with UK's help. We could maybe have to mobilize some of the conscripts. I don't know. We'll see. Russia did join Greece, though. Oh, no. Austria might join. That's not okay. Austria, you cannot be joining this play. That's not okay. No, 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 no. Maybe the British are strong enough that we can actually win this 2v2? I don't know. We'll give it a shot, I guess. What government do we need to swap to? I guess, like, intelligentsia. Yeah, we'll do that. And then that should be enough to call the British in. It's actually not. Okay, I guess, industrialists as well? Yes, okay, now the British are willing to get call allied into the play. And yeah, I guess we'll see. Oh, Austria, I guess, might not join. You only have 40 maneuvers, and they're not calling in Austria so far. I don't know why Austria wouldn't join, though. That would be very surprising if Austria didn't join, considering they're at negative 75. Unless, I guess that Austria doesn't want anything from them? Wait, how is they getting knowledge shared? Oh, I didn't realize you could knowledge share to people in your block. I feel like I've realized this multiple times, but it's always very surprising that you can knowledge share to people in your block that aren't your subject, because what's the benefit to doing it? I don't know. I guess we could try to go for a war on a war goal on Russia. Yeah, we should probably do that. We could return Baku. Oh, we don't have a interest in Oh no, we do have an interest in Ukraine. Okay, liberate Ukraine. That's what we want to go for sure. Greece is negative 75, so they actually might back down. Maybe we should try to primary. It's 4 infamy to primary it. It'll be fine. But yeah, Austria didn't join. I'm actually quite confused why Austria wouldn't join. Oh, they backed down. Well, I guess that's what we get. We get the Greek capital, which is something. Really, it's the vast majority of Greece, like 800,000 pops, and then there's 400,000 in the rest of Greece. I guess we'll start trying to pass colonial exploitation, because colonies are always good. I'm gonna do a treaty like this to try to get the Indians to pass no migration controls, because that would always be nice to get migration from them. Even though we might end up transferring them as a subject, you can still get migrations from them, so we'll try to get a law passed from them. Okay, they do actually agree. And, I think this is kind of a reasonable use of the prohibit trade with world market, because both of us are actually sort of having positive of both of these goods, I'm pretty sure, so they could actually get exported. Oh, we get the suppressing clout event. This could be useful. Yeah, landowners are already mad, so yeah, let's do this. We can try to make the landowners pretty mad. Yeah, securing the power is this thing. It's gonna be very hard to get the landowners to lower than 20% clout. Okay, maybe we can't really pass colonial exploitation, because, yeah, this is tough to keep legitimate. You have to go down a tax level, which we can't really afford. Yeah, we can't do this right now. We finally have railways, the greatest technology ever. We can stop having to avoid building tall like the plague. We can actually build up some states. I think Northern Thrace is the state we want to build up. Build a bunch of railways here, build some iron mines. And yeah, the state will be really nice to start building up. Oh, Italy just formed. It's very rare you get an Italy formation this early. Wow, that's really early for AI. No more existing for Serbia. Apparently the Russians would join against us. If they do, that's not going to be a very good idea for them because, yeah, we're going to take a lot of stuff from them with the British help. Okay, the Russians do indeed join the play. That's not going to go very well for them, I think. Okay, we need to bring in like the industrialists real quick to call the British in. So let's do that. Now we can call ally on the British. Then go back to intelligentsia for now. We are just kind of spawning radicals every time we do that, but it's not a significant amount. Okay, then we can go for return Baku, liberate Ukraine, liberate. Could go for like Don Cossack host. I don't know what's going to be the best other things to liberate. Yeah, we probably want to do Don Cossack host actually. Okay, that's going to be pretty good. Maybe we should have humiliated them so we could do a war against Austria as well. I don't know. With the help of the British, I think a war against Russia shouldn't be too bad. An ocean of blood. The Circassian deportees arriving on our northern shore. We love the Circassian deportees. But I guess how many Circassian pops are there in our country? 1,000? Yeah, we'll just make them radical. Um, let's see here. Why, we don't want them to die. That would be bad. Let's try to make sure the Circassian refugees don't die. Looks like we're actually just easily pushing through here because they have no troops assigned to that front. That was not a very good play by Russia there. So I guess all we need now is Baku and Don Cossack Coast, although that will be a little bit tricky to get, I guess. Yeah, let's start mobilizing some more troops. We might want to start oh wait, this army isn't even assigned to a front. Oops. Yeah, okay, so this shouldn't actually be that hard, I think. Because we have a 50 advantage over here. We can just, like, set the strategic objective on Rostov, and then I guess we also need to get to Baku, but that's not going to be that tough, I think. Because, you know, their troops are going to slowly lose supply if they get occupied, although apparently they don't have that many barracks down here. Actually, 30 barracks at this... Yeah, we've already occupied 30 barracks, and there's probably... Yeah, there's more in Kharkov and Rostov that we can occupy. Slowly kill the supply of the Russian army. We can definitely afford to expand construction quite a bit. Let's do like 10 more sectors over here in northern Thrace. We should also probably start building up some more trade centers, because I think we probably can do a bit more trade. Our economy is finally starting to grow recently. We can reduce autonomy on Egypt now. Very nice. How's our Liberty Desire doing on subjects? Okay, no one's too high. So we could reduce another person, I guess. Moldavia, very nice. Romania's all reduced to being a puppet now. Wait, why did I pause construction? I'm not sure. But anyways, we can now make peace with Russia. Borders are a little bit cursed. Maybe in the next war we'll take over Bessarabia and Dobruja, because it does not look very good like this. And yeah, we've very much weakened Russia. Now they have a lower GDP than us, although that might change as their economy rebounds, because we did have a lot of their territory occupied, which, you know, does kind of crush your economy. But they lost Ukraine and Don Cossack Host, which has some of their best states. Ukraine specifically has really good states, but also like Circassia is not a state to be doubted, you know. 10 coal, 10 iron, 27 lead, 35 logging. That's really not that bad. Oh, the North German Federation formed. That could be quite useful in attacking Austria. It depends on... Yeah, actually the North German Federation dislikes Austria, so that could be very good. Expanding construction a bit, because we do have pretty positive balance. It's not this positive. This is just because construction sector is finished on the last tick, and so construction isn't getting counted properly. But we do have quite a positive balance, so we can afford a little bit more construction, which is always nice. Although, you know, our GDP is kind of low. I guess we can also build up some universities. Like, we can build up 40 unis or something in Ankara. We don't actually need 10 railways for that. That's a little overkill. We just need like 2 railways for that. And that'll be very nice for getting our tech going, because we are not having too much tech yet. Okay, we finally get to go companies 3, which is going to be pretty nice. We finally unlock our first company. Yep, it's 1860 and we just unlocked our first company. This is truly an Ottomans moment. Would it really be a Connor run if I didn't pick this company first? The good old tool company is so good. Monopolize tooling workshops, add in steel mills, get steel mills as a monopoly as well. And yeah, this company is just always really nice, because tools and steel are both very good industries. I don't know if we're going to be able to afford these unis. What's our interest rate right now? Oh, I should not be going down on taxes. Oops. Our interest rate's 8%. It's not that bad to be in a deficit, so I think we'll just build them and it'll be fine. We could sell the Suez to the British, but I think we're not going to because I don't know, that'd be kind of lame if we sold the Suez to the British. We can build it ourselves later. Not quite yet, but if we get a bit richer, we could build it up. I don't know if we'll go for the company though, because it is pretty hard to make that company productive. I really thought it was going to be good, but it's been really hard to get productive in my experience. It says it will give Britain a claim. We'll see if they actually attack us. If they do, that would be really bad. But hopefully they'll stay protective anyway. Now we are on basically zero infamy, so we do need to figure out what war we want to go for next. Like whatever, Montenegro is one example. Russia would be likely to join, and then Austria probably would join them. Hmm. I guess we can go for a protectorate on Argentina. We just need to do something that isn't going to be too hard to enforce, since, don't want to have to mobilize a bunch of battalions. Don Cossack Host is having a Circassian uprising. Something we can get a defensive pact with them, and then, yeah, we can get them to become our subject. Maybe we need to take on debt, or you can probably get the rest without taking on debt. What else do we need to do? Let's see, what's their government? Their government's only intelligentsia? Oh, maybe we can't do it any other way then. Or are we getting plus 50 from military? Yeah, we are. Okay, I guess our best bet is going to be to take on their debt then. That should easily get us there. Yeah, that flips our relations friendly, which should easily give us that +2 that we need to get these guys to be our subject, which is going to be quite nice. I'm going to liberate Bohemia from Austria because we have North German Fed as an easy country to sway in, which should make this war really easy. We just lib Hungary, lib Croatia, and this is going to be super nice for weakening Austria. Maybe we should have not done that many liberates and humiliate. That might be a little too much, because they might back it down, or it might not, but I call both in. I don't know, but I think it'll be fine. North German Fed, what do you want? You want transfer Bavaria. That's too many maneuvers. And regime change Austria. Okay, I guess we'll give you an obligation then. And UK, we need to swap our government to have industrialists in it, and then UK should be fine with supporting us. Recall ally. Okay. Well, should be a pretty good war. Italy being on the Austrian team is going to make things a little bit tougher, but it should still be a very winnable war. This will give us a bunch of countries we could potentially get into our sovereign empire. Okay, Austria ends up backing down, but I guess them liberating Bohemia is still pretty nice. Also, we get access to our second company slot. Where do we want to go? I think I'm just going to go generic metal. This will give us coal, iron, some, pretty nice industries here, which will be nice to have a company for. The British are losing to the Khalsa Raj because I guess they chose to assign no troops here, and now they're not land invading through Raj. So that's interesting. They may have to lib Bahawalpur. I don't know if this will lib the entire state or just the tiny little bit. Well, I think annexing Persia here is going to be the play. They've got some really nice states. I am just going to quickly feed their country to Muharamara because it will reduce the infamy cost on this a lot if they have the minus 50% from unincorporated states. They were 27 infamy to annex. I think if we do this, the infamy cost on that is going to go way down, probably to like 10. That's how ridiculous this strat is. If you're not a great power, it's even more ridiculous. Like, the infamy cost can literally become free if you're a minor power. Oh, I accidentally gave them Mosul. It's not going to be a big problem, though. Gotta keep granting them more Persian states until it's a huge majority of Persia's states. If we just grant them Tabriz, that should be enough. Now we gotta grant all the Muharramaran states back to Persia. And the infamy cost is now 15. Okay, I kind of expected it to be lower, but that's not terrible. And, okay, Persia just accepts annexation, and the Ottoman Empire grows larger. Persia's states are super nice. There's so much better resources than we have in our country. Like, we don't have a single coal and iron state. Tabriz is coal and iron. Iraqi Ajami is coal and iron, although a very small amount of iron. Isfahan is coal and iron. Khorasan is coal and iron. I've clicked on, it took me like 5 states to click on one that didn't have coal and iron. Okay, now we click on a couple that don't have coal and iron, but like a ton of their states have coal and iron. I guess they have like a couple. It's not actually all of them. It's just we happened to click on a bunch that did. Bomper, I guess, is the only other one that we hadn't clicked on that has it. I think I'm going to take Food Company as my next company. It's always a pretty nice company, although we don't actually have that many food industries quite yet if we swap up the PMs. They should be kind of profitable. Actually, they're like really unprofitable so far, but they will eventually be profitable, and getting that birth rate bonus is always nice. Maybe we should start investing in public health insurance. The industrialists don't like it. We kind of need to ban slavery at some point too. That's really tricky. I think we have a mandate. We could go like a creative legislature with this mandate to try to ban slavery. If we get intelligentsia industrialists, we'd have like a 25% chance to ban slavery, but the stall chance would still be 40%, which is pretty bad. I guess we're gonna go food one here because we cannot afford to lower taxes. It's just not a thing we can afford, and we would need that to have enough legitimacy. Our industrialists will slowly go up in clout though, and maybe once we get our next mandate, we'll be able to have the fourth mandate slot hopefully, and with that we can slot in creative legislature. We would need 1503 total prestige in our block to hit number 3 apparently. That's probably not happening. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. We're not actually even close to that. How in the world does America's block have so much prestige? Are they actually just that good? Oh, America must be mobilized right now. Once America gets unmobilized, it might be possible to pass them for third. Unfortunately, Germany's calling in their obligation to get us to join them in this play against France. Yeah, France is gonna lose seemingly, and that's not very good for us. We definitely would prefer for France to be able to defeat the German Fed and stop them from unifying, because like Bohemia and stuff, all this would be good countries to get into our bloc eventually. But, oh wait, they made it so you can't just leave? No! Why would you do this to me? Okay, well they are regime changing us, which is not going to be very good. I guess that's just kind of how it is. Yeah, not being able to leave the play is a bit tough. Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to try to not get regime changed, because I don't think we want to become a presidential republic. Yeah, I don't think that would be good. It'd be kind of weird to be an autocracy and stuff. How dare France not change us to census suffrage? If they were changing us to like census suffrage as well, this would be an easy take. Okay, UK sided with North German Fed. This is going to be the easiest war ever for North German Fed. Yep, we're definitely getting German unification here. Don't really like that too much, but Germany, I guess, will at least be kind of a nice ally. Oh, the industrialists now want to come in government. It's not too illegitimate. Could we do something with this? I don't know. I guess we can try to pass colonial exploitation. That is something we can try to pass. Don't really want to do that much. I think that's pretty much the best law we can try to pass right now. Our radicalism is starting to be a bit of a problem. We're getting like significant turmoil in quite a few states, unfortunately. Do gotta hope that we can solve that. Like this state I was trying to build up iron mines in, but unfortunately it is experiencing radicalism. I don't know why these iron mines aren't employing up. Maybe we should try to subsidize them to get them to employ up, because they should be profitable if they employ up. Paying way too much in interest. This is like not worth having this much construction, I think. Or we should just probably put on more consumption taxes so we can start running up neutral balance, because I do want to stop just running out of money, because, you know, having to pay like 40k interest is kind of bad. We need a little bit of a lower interest rate before this starts being worth it, which we will get eventually from texts like central banking, but we just don't have it right now, I think. Yeah, Germany has successfully unified. Kind of lower GDP than I expected, but I guess it's only 1866, so having 100 million GDP is quite high. No, actually not really. It's like still lower, quite a bit lower than Britain. And a lot of the times I've seen Germany able to pass Britain in 1.9, so we'll see if they can do this game, because they do have Bohemia as well. I'm gonna try to sell some opium to China. I think it could be pretty profitable if we sell them like 350 opium. The price difference between our markets should be like 30 pounds or something, which is enough where I think that this trade should give us like 9k positive monies, assuming they accept. We get, okay, yeah, 23k, and we're spending 17k. So that's really not too bad. That's like 8k positive. The Russians are going for the Caucasian imamate. Of course, we're going to be trying to expand that trade with China. We're just going to need to expand our opium plantations for that, which might be a little bit tricky. We will need to figure out a way. We're going to need, like, what's it called? We're going to need pump jacks to make it actually probably worth spamming. Maybe it is kind of worth spamming. So, like, if we think about it, every single opium plantation we build, let's say we can export a third of our supply to China. That would be, like, 200 government income per building. That's kind of decent, isn't it? Like, how much are we getting in government income per iron mine here? Kind of like similar, but iron mines cost double the construction. So maybe we just start spamming some opium plantations. I think that that's probably going to be pretty good play. Yeah, I'm just going to start spamming a ton of opium over here, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, we still have like 30k ahead of time penalty. Maybe we're going a little bit overkill on steel frame buildings. Yeah, we probably can't afford to go it quite this early. Let's probably start going into like quinine right now, because we are about to get colonial exploitation, so that will be pretty useful. And then maybe egalitarianism, because we do need to actually be able to pass prop tax at some point, because that should be more money, right? It is slightly more money already, and it will start to become more and more money over time. I'm actually realizing I should stop suppressing the pro-slavery movement, because if we get this to 5% support, we can try to ban slavery, fight a civil war over it, and then be in a much better situation. You know, we'll have less radicals and stuff. So I think fighting a civil war over banning slavery is actually something we want, and if it's under 5% support, we can't get a civil war. I wonder if we could have subjugated these guys if we didn't have a truce here. They're a minor power, and they're cooperative, and they have intelligentsia. I think there's a very solid chance we would have been able to subjugate this if we didn't have a truce. That's so sad. I'm renegotiating up the amount of opium. We don't quite have this much yet, but we're expanding our supply, so it'll be fine. Yeah, we're still running like positive 8k, but as we get more and more opium, it will become more profitable, of course, because the difference in prices in our market will increase. Although we are just getting a ton of domestic demand for opium as well from this, which is a bit of a problem. We might want to start using an opium consumption tax because it is a decent amount of money. Although actually there are maybe better ones. Not actually, really. Opium is pretty good. Oh, we passed colonial exploitation, which is making us run a bit of a bureaucracy deficit, but we should be able to fix that real quick by building up some government administrations somewhere. Ankara, you can get some government administrations. Oh, our industrialists lost their abolitionist trait. That is a little bit unfortunate. It looks like we can't really get it back. Our odds of getting it would be like 5% because you have a 75% moderate. But we could try to ban slavery anyway and just hope for a civil war. I think we'll give that a shot. Yeah, we'll try to ban slavery. This should trigger a civil war. And we'll see how bad the civil war is. If it doesn't take pretty much our entire country, then with the help of the British, we should be able to easily beat it. I'm actually going to remove the opium consumption tax because I want to put some decrees on Tabriz because I'm going to start building up Tabriz pretty tall. You know, we got coal, iron, we can build like steel here, tools, we can build everything here. We do want to swap it to steel tools. I did swap it up on like one of our things. I don't think we really have enough steel to swap this up largely yet, but we do have Bessemer process, so we should be starting up the swap up. It's definitely worth it at this point. Well, this is gonna be easy. Yeah, it's only taking 112 troops, and I'm pretty sure this is counting conscripts. Yeah, there's no way it's actually taking 112 troops. It's just basically Persia and the capital in West Balkans. That's not gonna be too bad. We definitely want to fight the Civil War. The thing is, we actually might want to intentionally kill our legitimacy until the Civil War because, like, our stalls are gonna be really bad when we have the giant landowners, but once the landowners are defeated, they'll be way better. So maybe we just kind of like, bring in the armed forces or something to kill our legitimacy for now and pause passing the law till the revolution is over. Next week, the pro-slavery civil war begins. Okay, yeah, they don't have much troops. We don't even need the British to win this war. Okay, well that's gonna be pretty easy civil war. Just to mobilize a ton of troops, send them over here, and mobilize some troops and send them over here. This war really should not be very difficult. I guess we might as well call in people since they are super willing to join us. Although Russia is also super willing to join against us, so that could be a problem. But let's just call ally UK, and that'll help make this war just go by a little bit faster. Don Cossack host we could call in as well, but that's unnecessary. Russia does unfortunately join against us, which means I guess I'll give the Germans a new obligation to join us because, yeah, we can't be having Russia join against us. Unfortunate that we have to turn this civil war into a world war, but it's really not going to be hard because Russia does not stand a chance against Germany and UK. Oh, now we can do an actually legitimate government? Or wait, there is no legitimate governments right now? That's a little bit strange. Okay, why in the world is there no legitimate governments? What's killing our legitimacy so much? I'm a little bit confused. Because this was legit. Oh, what? Oh, we got a new ruler. Abdul Hamid Osmanoglu. No! What? How did we get a new ruler like this? I guess our old ruler just died. Okay, that's actually really sad. Okay. Can we do like this and then have legitimacy? No, even this makes it not enough legitimacy. We have to go to minimum taxes to have legitimacy to pass this. Well, I guess that's what we'll do. This is pretty unfortunate. We're gonna have to pause construction completely in order to do this. And our balance is still kind of barely positive. Oh, we get 15 legitimacy from securing the power, making the landowners weak. Okay, that's nice. I didn't realize that we had actually still had that. Okay, that's really nice. Now we can go back up to, like, high taxes? No, not quite, but we can go back up to medium taxes, which is at least some money. Okay, the Civil War is almost over. Unfortunately, we get that tick right before this, so we don't get to have the extra success chance. But yeah, now up to 44% success because landowners no longer have any clout, which is kind of nice. I assume getting landowners in government isn't going to help legitimacy. Yeah, it doesn't. Industrialists getting in that, yeah, they don't help either. And no one would help us pass this other than trade unions, right? Yeah, okay. Well, we could either go down 2 tax levels to go out of being illegitimate, or yeah, or we can go up a tax level and go unacceptable. I think we can do this, and it'll be slower passing, but we gotta get a little bit of a pause balance. We can get out of debt sort of by doing this, or we could unpause construction, I guess. But I'm just gonna keep construction paused while we pass this, I think, or it's gonna be going on for a while. Maybe we just can unpause construction again. We have over 40 legitimacy, so I'm going to go down to medium taxes so we can start passing this a bit faster. And I guess I'll also remove some social mobility decrees and maybe a consumption tax as well. And then that should bring us up to minus 25% enactment time, which will make slavery banned go from being like 200 days a tick to being 113, which is quite a bit better. The main reason I want to ban slavery is it will let us go multiculturalism. We do have a pretty big minority rights movement, which will be used for that. I keep getting advances instead of successes. It's kind of annoying. 66% success chance at this point. Post-Civil War, our GDP's been doing pretty good. We dropped for a little bit, but the recovery has been pretty solid. Like, we're now able to afford this 400 construction without going into deficit on medium taxes, which means we should actually be expanding construction right now. Yeah, that's going to be good. Very nice. We're finally starting to grow. And slavery banned. Finally through. Yes. Big nice. Yeah, we can't go multiculturalism yet since we don't actually have human rights. I guess we should start bolstering the minority rights movement for when we do eventually get human rights, but that time is unfortunately not quite yet. We could go racial segregation for now. I don't think that's very likely to make anyone. I guess like this movement, for example, if we go racial segregation, would stop being able to help us. So maybe we don't want to do that. What we can do is bring the church into government and start trying to pass public health insurance. Only problem is that this would remove job creators, but I do kind of just, want to try to get public health insurance because we got to get all those pops. Alright, and we should go up to very high taxes again. We can start spamming out a bunch more construction sectors now that we're on very high taxes. Very nice. Oh, we get health taxes. Yes, of course. Spend 25k to start passing public health insurance easier. Kind of unfortunate that I'm having to attack unrecognized countries when we do not have civilizing mission yet, but there really aren't any great recognized countries to invade right now, so yeah, just kind of cleaning up Central Africa and stuff. Guess we can start colonizing Equatoria. Just unlock steel frame buildings, definitely be starting to swap that up, though we do not have enough glass and explosives yet to swap this up majorly. We should start building some more of these. Where do we have lead? We have lead in Tabriz or Iraqi Ajami. I guess we'll do Iraqi Ajami. Build up some glass there. And then, what do we have? Like sulfur, I guess, is going to be important for explosives. Fars or Mosul, I guess we'll build up here. 5 sulfur, 5 explosives, and like 2 fertilizer, because I think you need fertilizer for explosives, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we do. Almost the entire Balkans are Sunni at this point. The only thing that isn't Sunni is Thessalia, I guess. Yeah, that's the only one not Sunni. Well, I guess also the one we took in Orta Yunanistan. That one is going to take a very long time. Well, it's actually probably never going to flip since we are going to go multiculturalism fairly soon here. Public health insurance has passed. We are going to need some more bureaucracy to actually level that up. Looks like we don't really have anywhere with tax capacity issues, so I guess we can just build it up in the capital, build up like 30 government administrations here. Oh wait, these are on simple org. Oh, the stupid rebellion made us go to simple org on some of our things. Oh, we actually like don't need it. I guess we don't need these government administrations then, because We have plenty of bureaucracy. They're just sitting in our government administrations being on simple org. Okay. Apparently, Italy took over the Metternich system. Interesting. That's surprising that Italy managed to get above Austria. That's unfortunate for our ability to get Ukraine. Oh, looks like they're actually getting out of the power block now, which might mean we can try to get them. How much leverage does Russia have? Russia has 900 leverage. Maybe we can do better. Let's try power. Oh, they really don't want to give us a power block embassy. Okay, wow. Why do they not want it that much? That's really bad. Military assistance? Or that's going to cost us some money. It's not really that much money, actually. Defensive pact, or guarantee, I mean. Investment rights. Let's do something like that. That'll give us some leverage on them. Yeah, no, now we're turning towards number one, but not by too much. And you can do like a defensive pact or something as well to get some more leverage, maybe. We really need that power block embassy, though. Very unfortunate that we're getting mandates so slowly because all of our members over here are insignificant instead of being minor powers. Very sad that we can't have a legitimate government with the intelligentsia in it, like, at all. Because I would want to try to pass, like, proportional tax. Although we could maybe do this actually off of... Oh, the PB want this. Could we get the PB in government? I assume not. Yeah, there's not going to be legitimate at all to get the PB in government. Can we get the modernization movement to get radicalized somehow? Like, could we pass protectionism? We need the rural folk in government for that. How can we get the modernization movement to be mad so we can pass prop tax with it? I guess we can bring the industrialists in government, lower taxes, pass... Oh, they don't want protectionism, but they do want free trade. That would be something, I guess. How much do they dislike? It's only going to be one, so that's not going to be enough. But that will be something at least. I'll make the modernization movement 12% activist. Okay, if we go minimum legitimate or minimum taxes, we can get the PB in government. And then from here, we can do protectionism, cancel. And then we can actually pass prop tax, which will be very good. Maybe we just do an everything government for prop tax. That's probably going to be the play. Yeah, just, or not everyone, I guess. We can just do an illegitimate government like this, I guess. It doesn't really matter as long as we have, or I guess put the industrialists in so they get less mad, because they are going to be affecting the stall chance, although they're still going to be neutral either way, probably. Yeah, we get prop tax through here, which is going to be a bit more money. Luckily for us, the British guarantee on Transvaal and stuff doesn't work if we are allied to them. Probably it's still optimal to just go for these guys immediately, but I didn't really want to do that. Probably that's what you should do, because yeah, gold is pretty nice, and these states have really good resources like coal and iron. But yeah, we will get access to their gold mines, which both of them have unlocked at this point, although the unincorporated penalty will make building them a little bit annoying. Uh-oh, the Russians have declared a war to return Rostov and return Stavropol. Uh-oh. Okay, we'll call ally Britain. And this is gonna be a bit tough. But, we could try to conquer, like, Tiflis, which is actually, like, a really nice state, 2.5 million GDP there, or we could just try to liberate some stuff over here in the or in this area. Like, if we I think if we lib Dagestan and, Mountain Republic, that all this stuff down here goes free. So maybe we do that, as well as, maybe Kazakhstan. Yeah, let's lib Kazakhstan, and then Mountain Republic, and Dagestan, and that should be good. Maybe we should have liberated something from Italy. I don't know, this seems pretty fine. Having to fight Transvaal at the same time is a little bit unfortunate. This war should be winnable with UK help. The question is, how much will UK help us? I guess we can also go conquer Russian Dobruja. It was Bessarabia, but we can conquer that later. Moldavia actually has a claim on that, so we can actually return CB that. Oh, Russia just backed down in our play. Okay, well I guess they're just humiliated then. I will reduce autonomy on the Don Cossack host. Very nice subject there. We really want to get Ukraine in the bloc, but unfortunately, Austria's bloc is stronger at this point. Maybe we try to go for Austria again, this time liberating Hungary for real. And there shouldn't be anything that Austria can do because Russia's humiliated, so they shouldn't be allowed to join, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they won't be allowed to join. It seems like it's not showing that, but I don't believe that they'll be allowed to join. And if they are, we can call it Germany, I guess. Let's liberate Croatia as well. And something like this should be a pretty good war with Austria. You will give the German Empire a revoke claim on Bohemia in exchange for them joining the play. And we get prop tax, which is going to slightly increase our income. We're now running 1,000 construction without really much of a negative balance, which is pretty nice. War with Austria is going pretty well. You know, we've got 87 advantage on our front, and the Germans have a 44 advantage on theirs. Somehow the British have Agra and Delhi and Rajputana, and the British are getting cut down to size. So I assume that they use take state for these. Why in the world would they use take state for Agra and stuff? I don't know. And why would they do that to become a pariah? I don't know even more. But what I do know is that I'm renegotiating my alliance with the British away because I'm not helping the British with this at all. Though that's not happening, Britain. You're not getting my support in this war. You're gonna have to lose to the cut down to size so that you can return that territory to the Raj. Oh, the Raj did end up passing no migration controls, which is quite nice. I guess we should probably withdraw from this treaty with the Raj. Oh no, it's still actually binding. Okay, but once this treaty is done binding, we might want to try to transfer the Raj soon enough, because that would be pretty nice. I don't know how much infamy they're going to be, though. Yeah, it's 105 infamy right now, so we might need to get multilateral alliances first. The Brits are definitely going to get cut down to size here. You know, they've got 2,000 troops fighting them. Alright, with Hungary free and stuff, we can start working on trying to get them in the block as well. Hungary is going to be real nice. Power block embassy, investment rights, guarantee independence, trade privileges, something like that. Yes, they accept. How much leverage does that give us on them? Pretty decent amount, it looks like. You're up to 105 leverage advantage. Looks like the Mutual Treaty Organization. What block is the Mutual Treaty Organization? Oh, that's Italy's block, is getting to beating us in Ukraine. This is unacceptable. We gotta crush the Italian bloc at some point. I think now is going to be a good time to go for the annexation of Greece, since everyone is busy in other wars right now. Alright, I guess we should swap governments out of that, now that we don't have any need to be low legitimacy for passing prop tax or anything, right? That's crazy that Germany's sided against us. I doubt that they send enough troops to stop me, given that they're at war with UK at the same time. That's actually crazy that they did that, though. What? Are you actually sending this many troops over to me? No, these troops are not going to this front, right? So, it should be fine. Yeah, they're not sending much over here. And hopefully this doesn't flip the German attitude forever. Yeah, they're still positive attitude once the war is over. We can turn this slaver into an enlightened royalist. Let's go. That sounds pretty based. Love for Greek. Nice. Big nice. Okay. I don't know that this character is gonna be our ruler by the time we pass that, because we're probably gonna go for multiculturalism fairly soon here. In fact, maybe we should do human rights after volcanization. Yeah, that might be the play, along with civilizing mission. Oh, nice. 4K tech progress on vulcanization. Okay, that gets us vulcanization complete. Now, do we have enough rubber to actually swap up? We probably do, because our economy is quite small. How many we have 12 rubber plantations right now. Actually, that's probably not enough. That's only going to give us like 360 rubber max, and this is going to cost 700. So we have to swap up just a bit, I guess. To Breeze or whatever, you can get machine steel tools. Where else? Like Dogu Turkiya. You get machine steel tools, and then we're going to need to get more rubber before we can upgrade everything, I guess. Looks like we have lots of rubber that we can build in subjects. The fact that the British are actually going to win this cut down to size play is ridiculous. They're actually just going to win it because no one has a big enough navy to naval invade them. So they're just going to... The British can just go high infamy as the AI. That's crazy. We're running a pretty good positive balance. I guess it's time to start swapping up even more to steel frame construction. Okay, I think it's time to swap up to steel frame. We have a low enough interest rate to where going into debt isn't too bad. 6.3% is quite a bit less bad, especially when you're on prop tax, so you make actually a lot more money per expansion compared to if you're on like per capita or especially land-based. Going to debt is so bad on land-based. We can just give the Germans investment rights in Tunis, and then we can peace out of this war now that we've annexed the Greeks. Nice. Oh, wait, I was never incorporating Orta Yunanistan? I thought I was. Or, oh, it canceled it when we got the Civil War, I guess. I think it's time to start expanding universities again. This time, instead of just hitting our innovation cap, we must soar through it to get infinite technology spread. I don't know how many unis you want to build, but we want to build a lot. Probably let's do this on... Sure, Albania. No, let's do it on Ankara, actually. We'll spam out like 200 unis or something. I don't know, we want a lot. Then start getting our tech spread going. Even 200 might not be enough. Okay, I'm gonna do this. This should hopefully get us over 200 leverage with Ukraine. Yes, we're over 200 leverage with Ukraine. Very good. All of our great universities, we're now getting like 100 extra tech spread. 80. which is really nice. We'll actually be able to get some tech spread going finally. Maybe we should do even more. Yeah, actually, I think we should do like another doubling. I think that's the play. Do we do it in Ankara though? Because I think we're kind of out of peasants here. Oh, and we need like infra, but that's gonna get built soon enough. Yeah, I think we pick up a new state. The thing is, we do need qualifications at least until we get multiculturalism, but that isn't quite yet. So we're gonna need to pick a state that has qualified pops, which means they need to not be discriminated. I guess Diyarbakir we can build like 100 in. So let's do like a 10 here of railways and then 90 unis or something. That'll be good. Britain is back to being a pariah? Crazy. What is Britain doing? Are they just taking more? No, they're not. They're conquering random states or something? It's crazy. Britain really likes being a pariah this patch. Well, I guess we're gonna re-ally the British. I'm thinking to go for Orania next. It's quite a bit of infamy, but you know, just wanna go for something. We got tons of conscripts to actually make them accept. So, you know, if we ever need those conscripts, we've got a lot of them. You'd have in peasant levies. We probably want to try to go off of peasant levies at some point here. Oh, we have negative 95% state construction efficiency here. Why is there 90% devastation in Tanzania? Um, okay, that's quite confusing. I don't know what happened there, but that's very unfortunate. I guess we're gonna have to stop building anything in Tanzania. Tanzania is a fake state, I guess. Somehow we're still running a pile of balance after building all these unis. I'm gonna start expanding construction a bit more. The unis are super nice for tech spread. We're getting a solid 128 tech spread from unspent innovation, which is super nice, you know. We're gonna get like civilizing mission and stuff real easily because we're effectively doubling our innovation in whatever category we're working on, and we get that innovation in both the other categories too, which is super nice. Like we're gonna tech spread labor movement, and that will lower our ahead of time penalty. Actually, we might manual research labor movement in just a second here once this hits 15k. Croatia got into a civil war. We can go ahead and get a defensive pact with them and then join them in their civil war in exchange for subjugation. Very nice. With human rights research, we can try to go for multiculturalism now, I guess. Only 13% success is really, really bad. How close are we to number 3 block? Oh wow, we're really far away. Is USA max conscripted right now? How do they have so much prestige? How in the world does USA have 2,000 prestige? This is insane. Their GDP is just that good. Like, hey, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't think we can pass up the Zollverein, because creative legislature would help a ton with passing multiculturalism. But what we can do is racial segregation cancel, cultural exclusion cancel, and we get 15% success on multiculturalism. That's not ideal, but it is something. Apparently the movement is at 100% activism. Yeah, is there any movements we're missing out on here for supporting us? No? Okay, well I guess we go for it. 15% success really isn't that great, but I guess it's gotta be good enough. I'll start suppressing the Ottoman supremacist movement. I guess we might as well put everyone in government for this, or I guess not everyone, but we can put the PB and rural folk in government, because low legitimacy shouldn't give us that many radicals. 250k a month is actually somewhat significant, but I think we want to eat that in exchange for maybe lowering the PB madness. It lowers it a bit, but apparently it's not enough to make them not angry. Wait, is this +4 sweep difference going to be enough to make them not angry? No, apparently -10 is still classed as angry. Okay, that's very unfortunate. We might need to lower construction. I don't know if this balance is sustainable. We'll see. I should not be having this many food industries in Restart that are apparently negative 95% state construction efficiency. Nice, we got our first success on multiculturalism. Very good. We got another success on multiculturalism. Things are going very well. With Ukraine no longer being an option, we really need to get Hungary. Why are they not willing to join our bloc? The Mutual Treaty Organization. What do you mean Italy is trying to get... Wait, what? My treaty with Hungary got cancelled? Why would you do this to me, Hungary? It was such a great treaty. How could you do this? All I want is Hungary. You should just join my block, you know? That would be great if you could just join my block. Oh, I meant to give them like 2,000. Yeah, okay, that should be good. Get Hungary, please join my block. That should be enough to get you to join, right? 142, that's pretty close. We need a bit more, though. So let's do like a defensive pact. Surely that'll be enough to get us to 200. It's so close. If we get to +80, or get to 80 cohesion, it should be good enough, I think. Bro, that's crazy. We got a stall, then we got a debate, which gave us plus 15 success chances, ended up being 5 more than the stall removed. And then we got 3 successes in a row. The odds of 3 successes in a row are like 1%. But hey, we take the W. We love multiculturalism. Infinite migrants from India start appearing in our country. A million migrants a year from India coming into our country. Rajput, Tamil, and Gandhi all coming here. 1.5 million people a year. Very nice. Multiculturalism is so broken. I think you just instantly get infinite mass migrations now when you pass it. I don't feel like it used to be quite this much, but it is quite insane as of 1.9. Just how much migration you can get by opening up India's borders. I wonder if opening up China's borders would make sense. Do they actually have enough Han turmoil? They don't really have enough Han turmoil for it to do anything, I think. I guess we should swap governments again so we stop getting quite as many radicals, because radicals are pretty bad. I'm starting up the skyscraper survey. Definitely want to go to get that trade capacity. I don't know how much we're trading, but we're probably trading a little bit at least. We're actually not even in the top 3. Where are we? Is this us? No. Where are we on this list? We're doing very little trade relative to the size of our country. Wow. Peru is going to war with Chile and is conquering like almost all of Chile. Um, I guess we'll just side with Chile, and we'll probably just insta-capitulate. I don't know. Don't really care about who wins this war. Yeah, we'll probably just insta-capitulate, especially if Italy joins the other side. We love getting 10 billion mass migrations from India. Like 800,000 people a year moving to Castamonte, 600,000 a year into Trabzon. The power of mass migrations is not to be underestimated. Alright, I should be capitulating out of this war. Um, that's a very big Peru we have here. I guess we can reduce autonomy on Peru. Yeah, let's do that. UKI just casually at 400 million GDP. Their GDP growth is crazy. I think the reason they're doing so good on GDP this game specifically is because they have states like Punjab and stuff. No, they actually don't have that much GDP in these states. I mean, they have some. My game is lagging a lot right now, but yeah, there really isn't that much GDP over here, actually. So they've just actually managed to build up like 400 million GDP in the British Isles, which is pretty crazy. That's the power of Ireland. Ireland is so strong. They got like 150 million in Ireland. Not quite. They've got a lot in Ireland though. 120 million maybe. What is the AI code is making them want to take over more and more of India manually? This is very annoying. Oh, Hungary requests to join. I didn't realize they had 200 leverage, but that is nice. I guess I'm going to pick up home goods as my next company, and then we can get logging industries as a industry right here, which is going to be pretty nice. Oh, wow, we're in such a bureaucracy deficit due to the migrants. We really need to build up bureaucracy. That's crazy how much of a bureaucracy deficit we're in. Skyscraper survey completed. Very nice. We can start building up a skyscraper in our capital. Oh, I'm out of infamy. I guess I'm going to start conquering Ethiopia. We have civilizing mission now, I think, so the infamy cost on this will be a little bit lower. When I went up to medium gov wages and very high mill wages, we're just barely not high enough to pass the USA for third power block. Maybe we just start building up some navy real quick so we can get some more prestige, because, you know, prestige is always good. Definitely want to be top 3 block so we can get our 4th mandate. I don't know what we'll put as our 4th mandate. Probably colonial offices. It would be nice to have that. Start building up some torpedo boats and ironclads. For the duration of what war? What? Was there a war I was in that just ended? I don't know. Well, that's unfortunate. I get negative 40% recovery rate for the duration of whatever war. I don't know what war it's talking about. We just unlocked cars. Very nice. I guess we'll go multilateral alliances next because we do want to get that minus infamy gen so we can finally take over the Raj. Or I guess it's the Dominion of India now. They must have to increase their autonomy because Britain increased their liberty desires so much by taking their states. Only problem is Britain took so many states that the infamy cost of them is like 108, which is way higher than it is normally. Normally it's just barely over 100. We have near 50% clout industrialists. Maybe we try to do a government like this and then pass something like census suffrage. Yeah, let's go for that. GDP growth has been finally starting to go pretty well as of recently. Up to 320 million GDP, only behind the UK. The UK's GDP is pretty insane. It's going to take probably another decade till we can pass them. Oh, we finally became a top 3 block so we can get our final mandate. I think we go colonial offices to make infamy costs lower on these unrecognized guys. Yeah, we'll go for colonial offices. GDP is going up real nice. 370 million now? Wow, Great Britain's at 470 million. Their GDP is growing pretty well, although it does look like it is starting to plateau. Apparently at some point I broke a treaty and I have untrustworthy country now. That's not very good. Yeah, that's pretty bad that we accidentally broke a treaty. I have no clue what treaty I broke, but that's pretty unfortunate. That's probably why we have so much infamy or something. Dang. I guess I should start building up construction. We've got such a nice positive balance again. Yeah, definitely time to start building up tons more construction. Dang, we didn't get multilateral alliances in time. The India explosion has happened. India, or Britain, let India free, except they didn't actually. We get the glitched out Bengal-India civil war. Well, with India breaking free from the British, we finally have passed the British for #1 GDP in the world. Very nice. I'm gonna ally the Germans. Oh, we need a little bit more conscripts, I guess, to make them get the equal exchange buff. I guess you have to be the one with plus acceptance in order to get them to want to have it as an equal exchange. Yeah, now they get the +30 from equal exchange. So that'll be nice. I'm thinking we want to try to liberate Algeria from France, because, I think we were trying to unite Islam, and, if we want to do that, Algeria is going to need to be incorporated into our country. So we'll go for a liberate Algeria play here against Egypt. And then maybe while we're at it, we'll liberate some other stuff. Let's make sure to humiliate France at least. Oh, can we actually not call them in? Oh, no, we just need to change the government. Germany likes rural folk? Okay, that's going to be a little bit of a different government. I wonder if we could get like a Republican in our industrialists to get a Republic, because that would be nice. Looks like not really. Anyway, let's, I guess, do the Freedom and Accord Party, because this should be good enough to get yes, the Germans will join us with this party. Apparently the Japanese are going to join against us, as well as the Spanish, but the Germans are so strong that that shouldn't be a big problem. Yeah, call Germany in. They want to enforce investment rights on France, or we'll give them investment rights on Tahiti in exchange for joining the play, sure. The Brittany, we don't have an interest in Occitania. Well, I would have liked if we had an interest in Occitania, so we can lib Occitania, but I guess we'll do that in just a second here. I don't think France stands a chance against Germany here. Start mobilizing and get ready for the war. Probably need to start building up a bigger army sometime soon, because our army is really small without our conscripts. Also should probably start building up more unis. Yeah, okay, Khorasan, you can get a 400 stack of unis. Sure. We need more tech spread, because I don't think we have enough tech spread at this point. Yeah, we're not tech spreading in production right now, but we are tech spreading in the other categories. So getting a little bit more unis is probably good. Transfer French Senegal, and then lib Occitania. Okay, very nice. Oh, USA sided against us. Okay, this war actually might be a little tricky then. Looks like it's still pretty easy, but it could be hard with the USA against us. Maybe we start building up some troops for future wars. We should probably have at least like a couple hundred battalions, and we should probably try to go to having pro-army, although we can't really pass that because I don't think we can get we can't really have this government and have legitimacy at the same time, so we can't really pass that very easily. But we can at least try to create an army. I guess I'll activate the 800 conscripts here. That should ensure that we eventually come out on top on this front, although I guess skirmish infantry is kind of weak. It is still, I think, probably strong enough to beat the American troops. They don't have that many troops down here on this front. There is quite a few troops over here. We are very lucky that France put in conquer Alsace, because that means that Germany will not be capping out of the war. Although, wow, they have so much from lobbies, making them actually gain positive war support right now. Oh wow, Germany is not doing very well on their front. I'm surprised. I guess USA's army is just that good. Yeah, USA has 25,000 power projection. That's pretty insane. Okay, yeah, that's not very good. Okay, this army needs to go try to defend Germany. It's going to need to get org back before it will actually do a very good job at that, but it has to go try, because Germany just does not have enough troops to defend themselves. And then we need to hope that we can hold. And subjugate Hungary. Very nice new subject. The Ottoman market is growing pretty large. Our troops did manage to arrive in Germany. Unfortunately, it looks like Germany is still losing some battles in Alsace, but hopefully as our org goes up, that will stop being as bad. Maybe we need to start building up more ports. If we build up more ports, that could give us more org, because we are actually limited on org based on convoys right now, which is a bit of a problem. Well, this war isn't going the greatest, but, I mean, as long as we hold Alsace, America's going to eventually cap out and Germany won't. I'm going to put a greener grass campaign down in Baku, because I do assume we're going to get oil there eventually. There's 240 potential oil rigs there, so getting the oil, or getting pops there ready for the oil will be good. Okay, USA is finally out of the war, which means Germany is gonna start rolling through France, I think. Hopefully, at least. Wow, France has really good defense. Maybe not. We'll see. We're gonna try to push in at least. There's a civil war going on here in Bengal. We're gonna, try to get them as a subject real quick by doing this, and then, yep, okay, +8. Bengali. Well, I thought it was sad that Bengal did this, but it turns out we kind of just get a free India subject, although it is only Eastern India, but hey, it's still something. So we'll go for that. And, oh, well, we shouldn't ship in our army yet, I guess. Because, yeah, they won't cap out that fast. It'll be fine. But soon enough, we'll want to try to ship our army over there and take that back. I might try to swap out colonial offices with, or maybe food standardization with freedom of movement, because apparently if we grant them their own market and we have freedom of movement, we can get mass migrations and normal migrations from them. We need to get mill access, or I think I actually already have mill access through the Ottoman, or through the British. Yeah, we do, so we can invade Hyderabad through that, I guess. We should probably start working on that soon, because this war with France is seemingly going to take a while longer. Yeah, maybe instead of pushing through Africa, we actually want to send this army to go kill India. How much does this front go? Okay, this front is still +50 without this army. Um, so let's send that army over to Bombay, and then we should be able to land into Hyderabad from there. Apparently this takes more than 4 weeks. Dang. Okay, well, I guess I'll go for landing into Odisha then. Okay, let's see how the landing into this is going. Okay, not well, unfortunately, for our first attempt. Yeah, very, very badly. Maybe we should try to go for the capital. That actually has infra, although they have a lot of troops there. I don't know what we do. How does it only take 20 days to get there, but we can't get to this in 4 weeks? What? Okay, this time I'm actually going to go for Arakan, because this one I'm thinking they're probably not going to defend at all, actually, based on my previous experience. So that's probably going to be the best way to go for it. Bengal is in default, so that's going to help a little bit, hopefully. How much default penalty are they getting so far? It must not be much yet, because their troops still have pretty good defense. They're getting minus 26% already? Wow, surprising we're not able to push more. Well, I finally occupied the capital of Bengal, so they're definitely gonna cap out before us now. Unfortunately, the war with France is really not going well. Like, Germany's out, or America's out, and we're still not winning, which is kind of crazy. Granted, their 23,000 power projection is beating me in Germany. Okay, the Bengal War is now over. I'm gonna send this army to go do a naval invasion on, like, Normandy, and hopefully we can finally get this France war over with that. We're actually starting to lose in Algeria. Okay, with this naval invasion, this front is now 80 advantage. There's no shot we can't push with an 80 advantage, and we have a 62 advantage on this naval invasion. So we should be able to get into France now, surely. Okay, we landed in Normandy. Now the push for Ile-de-France. Just finished researching malaria prevention, so we can start colonizing a bit more in Africa now. Wait, they were occupying our capital as well? We got so lucky that we occupied their capital in time. Okay, well, luckily we win the capitulation race. Very good that we win that capitulation race, and we can propose a full peace deal, and we win against France. Nice. I'm gonna try swapping from food standardization to freedom of movement. We'll see how much that affects our pop growth, so I'll decide if it's the play. I guess we could replace colonial offices. Isn't that much unrecognized stuff I want to take at this point? I think we want to keep it in. Let's just go freedom of movement. From 2% pop growth to 1.8. It's really not that big of a deal. And now we can grant... Oh, but if we grant Bengal their own market, they might become pretty disloyal. We're going to do it anyway, I guess. Hopefully we can just start owning enough of their GDP that it's not a huge problem. Yeah, this is going to be tough for Liberty Desire, but you got to do it. We'll be able to get so much migration from them, because we'll be able to get mass migrations as well as the normal migrations that we were getting. Although, maybe they don't have enough turmoil in their pops to do it. Unfortunate if they don't, but hopefully they'll get some turmoil and then have some problems. Reduce autonomy on this mega Hungary with almost 100 million GDP. I established a car company, and that's very nice, given a monopoly on cars, slowly expanding up. Car companies are always super nice, because, you get that plus price on cars, and cars are so efficient, so you always want to be able to build as many of them as possible. Especially once you get compression ignition, they're just so broken, the PM is so good. Car company already our second most profitable, or third most profitable company. I assume it's, yeah, Belgium has the most profitable company in the world? That's crazy. They must have investment rights in a ton of people. That's actually crazy that they have #1 most profitable company in the world. Wow. Who do they have investment rights in? Tuscany, Russia, China, no. Japan, Ukraine, not Germany. Wow, they just got a bunch of small people. Surprisingly, they managed to get a 2 million profit company off that. Our best companies are just under 1 million. Even Dolphus Mia gets C from France is above us. Wow, we're so sad. How could this happen? Well, of course we'll open negotiations with the strikers. We cannot be destroyed by the evil strikers. We must capitulate to them, unfortunately. Okay, we get strike labor negotiations. We will expand workplace safety. That should be the easiest one to do. I'm gonna go fight the Russians. What could possibly go wrong? Conquer Russian Dobruja, return Bessarabia, and then we'll liberate the Mountain Republic, and we'll liberate Dagestan. And with that, we should be able to get, or let's liberate Georgia as well, just in case they don't actually get liberated, but I'm pretty sure they will. And then I guess we can primary lib Georgia, and this will be a decent war against the Russians, although Austria might join against us as well. Oh, we should have kept maneuvers so we could call Germany in. It's going to be a bit tougher without being able to call them in. Okay, I think we're going to have to build more army. Yeah, we don't have enough army to win this war right now. We got to build up more armies to be able to win. If we build up more army, we should be able to win this war, though. We just need to build up enough army to go beat up Austria with. If we can beat up Austria, we'll be fine. Only problem is we actually kind of lacking on states to build up army in at this point, because, yeah, without pro-army, you do have pretty lacking in the amount of troops you can put in per tile. Can we go out of... Or we can actually go mass conscription now. Let's go mass conscription. That'll be nice. The Balkan front is collapsing. We desperately need more troops to defend it. Okay, we'll grab this 300 stack and send it over here, I guess. Hope. Okay, yes, this front is still enough to defend easily. But we should have this on luxurious supplies for sure. Defend, please. And then this 340 stack will get onto the other front and start trying its best to defend, except that there's actually 2 separate fronts here. Uh-oh, this is not very good. Okay. I guess I'll reduce autonomy on Croatia and then enforce mill access. That should merge the fronts, I think. Yes, that did merge the fronts, okay. Now we can defend this one front and hopefully be fine. Okay, since we upgraded our workplace safety, we get the strike keeping promises thing, which gives us some labor loyalists, which is always nice. Oh, apparently the reason we're able to pass mass conscription is the fascist movement. You love having powerful fascist movements every game. They really need to tone down fascism. It's a little bit too strong. We have compression ignition. I guess we should start using the great compression ignition PMs. Mass production! That crashes our GDP temporarily, but automobile demand will go way up after this. And then we'll also do diesel pump, because we have so much oil from, you know, being the Ottomans and annexing Persia. There's so much oil in this region of the world. Turn on combustion engine derricks, and we should just have all the oil ever. We still have... Yeah, oil is pretty productive, so I guess we'll start building it up. But we do have oil rigs in Baku discovered, so we can go for Branabel as our final company. We don't have Wallachia incorporated, so we can't do that one. GDP kind of skyrocketing as we go for compression ignition, you know, 770 million GDP. That's like 100 million higher than we were just a second ago, I feel like. Very nice. Automobiles are pretty low price. Oh, we should definitely remove our tariff on automobile exports. Let's do a low subvention. We really don't need this much money, or we don't really need this many taxes. We could try to go down on taxes. You know, I kind of want to hit 1 billion GDP as fast as possible, and going down on taxes will help out with that. We don't even have any debt, really, so we might as well go do that real quick. We can get our GDP up a little bit. I wonder what our block GDP is up to. 1.36 billion? That's pretty good. Actually, I guess we should do like a government like this. It's gonna be zero legitimacy, but we can actually pass mass conscription this way. Mass conscription was not going well, but with trade union and armed forces support, it should be way easier. Okay, Austria is finally out of the war. That's gonna be good. And we can actually start winning this war finally. Set the troops to attack. Should probably turn on machine gunners or something. Okay, Spain is pretty far from capping out. We might need Spain to cap out to win. I don't know. I guess we should start pushing for sure. I think this war is really chugging the game. Like, look at how slow the days are ticking by right now. This is crazy. Okay, I'm gonna set this 339 stack to go do a naval invasion on the capital, I guess. That should be good to end the war. What are they gonna do about 340 troops trying to land their capital? Nothing. Okay, we passed mass conscription. Oh, we're out of infamy. Let's go ahead and annex Algeria real quick. What could possibly go wrong with annexing Algeria, right? Nothing could possibly go wrong is the answer to that question. Wait, America annexed Morocco? I was gonna annex Morocco, but I guess that's not happening. Okay, we successfully landed in the Russian capital. Apparently they sent us a white piece, so we can't actually send them a peace deal. Oh, Spain's out of the war now. We'll give Russia Bolivian investment rights. Or actually, no, we'll give them a revoke claim on Bessarabia because that's actually irrelevant in exchange for liberating Georgia. And now we'll see what happens to the rest of these guys. Okay, they do actually end up releasing Big Armenia down here, which is interesting. We hate the Armenians as the Ottoman Empire, right? That would be historical or something. So to be historical, let's go annex the Armenians. That sounds pretty correct, you know. Okay, we've annexed Armenia, as it was as Ottomans must do, clearly. Yeah, that's pretty good. Borders are looking pretty nice here. If only we could have actually conquered Morocco, they'd look even better. But unfortunately, the Americans got to that first. France having this looks so ugly. Dang, France has negative 99 diplomatic stance with us, so I guess we're gonna have to take that militarily if we want that. Okay, let's declare neutrality in this, and then let's conquer Niger. Yeah, this will be fine. Oh, Russia would join against us again here? You're kidding me. Everyone's allied to France now? What? Russia, Spain, Italy, USA? Okay, What if we attack USA for, like, Lib Morocco? Lib Morocco? Is that not a valid war goal? What? Is Morocco not a releasable? Dang, I thought Morocco would be a releasable. That's surprising that there is no Morocco releasable, unless I'm just blind. No, there is no Morocco releasable. Oh, I thought there was a Morocco releasable. Okay, we can go establish Branabel now for the good old Prestige Oil and Oil. I do kind of prefer the Wallachia Oil Company, but we do not have Wallachia Incorporated, so this company will have to do for our oil needs. The great billion mark has been reached. Very nice. Oh, Japan sided against our conquest of Bornu? What are you doing siding against my conquest of Bornu? I wonder what's our oil price at. I wonder if we should swap up a bunch more PMs to using oil. Oh, our oil price is negative 55%. We should definitely start using oil in more PMs. Let's get houseware plastics. That would be cool. Yeah, let's go for plastics, I guess. Even though we're tech spreading it, you know. We gotta start going for all the techs to finish out the run here. Motors is one thing we can use more oil on. That always uses a ton of oil to swap these up. What's our oil price at now? Oh, plus 34. Yep, that's a big jump. Build up more oil rigs and it should be fine though, right? Yeah, we've got plenty of oil to build up here. You know, it's kind of weird that the Sunni ulema are very close ideological similarities to the Orthodox, but if we just ignore that small little issue, we're going to be going for a subject on Georgia here. Get a defensive pact, and then we can get a subject sway here. Need to wait a second. They should accept our treaty, and now we become protectorate. 1.2 billion GDP, nice. Just turned down houseware plastics. We're chilling at 1.41 billion GDP. The great oil boom of the Ottoman Empire is very great. You know, we're the #1 oil producer by like 5 times or something. I wonder how much oil we are producing relative to our cap. Looks like we're producing almost all the oil we could be producing. Maybe there's a bit more we could be producing, but for the most part, we're producing most of it. Looks like Nejd is the province where we're producing the lowest out of all the oil we could be producing. So up onto like this PM, that'll help out with producing a bit more oil there. Well, I think I'm going to end off the run here. We did pretty good. 1.4 billion GDP. Definitely higher is possible, but I mean, I think this is a very solid GDP for the Ottomans, as well as 21 SOL. We're having a very positive balance. We could get way more GDP probably if we like went down to low taxes, or we could just build more construction maybe, although we don't really have any people to employ. Maybe we turn on labor saving PMs. Like assembly lines might actually be pretty good for us since we have so much oil production in our country. Yeah, 2.2 almost billion GDP in the block, 1.42 billion GDP alone, 230 million pops. I'm very happy with this score for the Ottomans. We didn't even do that much expansion. I mean, we colonized Africa, but other than that, we basically just united the Middle East and subjugated some people. We ended up becoming the #2 exporter. Apparently, China is the #1 exporter in the world market. Oh, wow. What happened Did Belgium got investment rights? Is my guess. Let's see. Yep, no, Belgium doesn't have investment rights. What? France got investment rights. Austria got investments. Germany got investment rights. Wow, I'm surprised. Their GDP is going crazy here. They might even pass me eventually. Probably not. They're probably like out of laborers at this point almost. Or they're kind of almost out. But I guess their prices must be wrong, right? There's no way they can keep growing from like 600 million. That's crazy. 21% literacy. Their pop growth is negative. But wow, that's a crazy GDP on China for the AI. Actually, I really need to annex Montenegro before I end the run. We can just act like this didn't happen. I just need to quickly annex Montenegro real quick. Okay, now with that evil Montenegro slice of the map gone, we can have our great Ottoman Empire. So great. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Goodbye.